You have entered the PM.
What up, my people? What up, my people? Hey. Man, welcome to the PM, where faith, family, and everything in between is discussed. I'm your host, Greg.
And I'm CashApp.
And we're excited about another awesome evening. Thank you for spending some time with us tonight.
Yes.
And we're excited. We're about to go in again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have Wifey here break down, just recap what you guys have missed if you have not tuned in to the previous.
Yes. So if this is your first time here, hi. If it's probably a lady. I mean, maybe not, but if it is, hey girl, hey.
My fellas is on here too.
Hey girl, hey.
No, don't count my guys out.
What up, bro?
What's up?
What up, bro?
Let's go.
We are in a series. It's a 5-part series, and we have reached 4. We're on 4.
Before you chase the ring.
Before you chase the ring, because we feel like a lot of us come into relationship and wanting to be married, and we've thought that there were some practical tools and things discussed that we wish we knew, and that we still hear, even though we've been together for all this time. That hasn't changed.
Some we thought we knew.
Some stuff we thought we knew,
and we realized what it really meant.
Know at all. And everybody wasn't hating, which is what I thought.
Yep.
I said these.
So part 1.
Wholeness is not found in a spouse. That was part 1. That was a good one. Part 2 was marriage requires daily work, not just wedding vows. A lot of times when we are preparing to be married, we think that we are really just thinking about the wedding all the time, like dreaming about the wedding, planning the wedding, even whether there's a guy there or not. But we don't know or understand that you have to do this every day. Like the wedding is like, it's cute, lovely, beautiful thing. You probably should get a videographer because everything goes so fast that you really don't even, and you're like, And part 3 is character versus chemistry. Don't marry potential, marry patterns. Because a lot of times we are like, and not the good potential, because there's a good potential. And then there is a potential of, I'm trying to make you be something that you are clearly showing me you're not. So don't be ignoring them red flags saying she or he, it could be better. True, but are they showing you that they're even trying to be better?
Yeah. Pay attention to the intentional behavior. I don't want no part 2 of what happened, guys. We had to start this over, so I'm gonna unplug this and make sure we good.
I think we're okay.
All right, let's go.
Okay, and today this one is so good, and we have really touched on it a lot in different conversations, but I'm really glad to be able to focus in on this one. Marriage magnifies, not fixes your issues. I think that this is something that is not often thought about.
I feel like we've touched on it a bit, but today gives us a chance to really unpack it.
We have definitely touched on it a bit because a lot of us get married to be complete. That's what we think. We think that, the whole scene in like The Notebook and stuff like that, like you complete me, especially ladies, a lot if you're a lover. Because sometimes ladies ain't like that. But for the ones that's a lover, love the romantic comedies and stuff like that, we are often looking for someone to complete us. And what we talked about, actually, I think we touched on this in the last one, was my story of having everything I ever dreamed of and hoped for, and still feeling a void because the thing that I needed to complete me was really God.
And we saw that relationship amplifies.
Yeah.
So all the tiny idiosyncrasies, the things that you're aware of and try to hide, the things that you're completely oblivious about yourself, which I've experienced that. There are things I thought I was pretty solid, some areas I thought I was solid in, and when I got in relationship, it exposed it. You know, and I used this example before, and I'm gonna say the word right today, that marriage is a kiln.
Okay. Kiln
with an N.
K-I-L-N.
Because what it is, marriage is really a refiner.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing that perfects you. It is a tool that exposes all the ugly things about relationships so you can be better. So, you know, like CashApp already pointed out, it's not something that fixes you. It's a tool that God can use to refine and make you better. Yeah.
I think that the beginning of all of this is understanding what marriage actually is for and what it's meant to be. And so while it's two people coming together, the example we used in the last episode actually was if it was two corporations coming together and creating like an empire.
Come on, man.
That is more of what it's like. And then what is the purpose of this relationship? Like, yes, companionship, you know, yes, replenishing the earth with children, which we did pretty good at, don't you think?
Yes.
But also
enjoyed every moment of it.
Probably would have had more.
Yeah.
But also there's a purpose for you two being together. Like God has a purpose for you in your life. Ladies, God has a purpose for you in your life. I don't think that everybody feels this way. I think that's like more in the church era where sometimes we don't 100% feel like that. We feel like once we get married, we're not supposed to do nothing, but that's not true. God has a purpose for you in your life, and together there's a purpose for you two together, and even the children that you will create. And so in that, when you are coming together, when you're putting two things together that are their own individual entity, what happens is there are things that I used to do as my own corporation that has to be adjusted to be being connected to someone, as well as there are things that you had too. So it's not like, you know, if Walmart and Target got together to like make like
if they merged,
a tall mart, a market.
Just go with the merge. Golly.
A wall to get.
No.
Anyway, but if it did, Walmart couldn't stay exactly the way it is. It'd have to maneuver to fit some of the things that Target does and vice versa.
There'd be some adjustments and compromises.
But oftentimes what happens is you get married and there's things like, if you're on the realm of thinking this marriage will fix me, for instance, if you have an issue with anger and you think getting married is going to make me happy, so I will get married to be, you know, to be better. Or if you struggle with depression and you say, you know, you think that, well, once I get married, I'll no longer be depressed. Or if you struggle with lust, pornography, if I have a person to be with, then I won't struggle with this no more. And oftentimes, I would say almost every time, you will find that's not what marriage does at all.
No,
it magnifies it because you're merging, you're making your warget.
I forgot to stop.
I would figure out something.
Your merged companies.
Mart. I like Tall Mart. Whatever. You got your companies together.
Yes.
Okay. And you are there and you are like, well, it'll be perfect when we get together. And you often find like there's these clashing. It's like two things rubbing together instead of going like, how do we take the beautiful things that I have and the beautiful things that you have to make this thing we envisioned anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know that it's not going to fix. Like if Walmart has an issue with hood employees, but they don't never want to change that. They don't want to, then they will just continue to have the same exact thing.
You said her employees.
That's my experience with Walmart.
No, but we
mm-hmm.
you guys have you probably heard in the intro of the pod where we consider ourselves life coaches,
mm-hmm.
and that life has an acronym.
Don't consider. I got credentials.
Well, not consider. We are life coaches.
CLBC, BCC.
But I say consider. Because life is much bigger than just a term for us.
Mm-hmm.
We look at each one of those, the letters in life, LIFE, as a significant part of what we do in our coaching. We find it important that you learn.
Yep.
We find it important that you live intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
We find it important that you forge relationships, and that all those things that you learn, those principles that you're gathering as you're beginning to identify who you are, and you're intentionally living and you're building relationships, that you then begin to expand. So we see in the Bible, God challenged and gave us a charge to say, be fruitful and multiply. That was much more than just having kids. That was about us taking dominion and spreading it along the earth. Cachet and I are extremely passionate about setting relationships on fire, and not just setting them on fire. Now, just like any healthy pyramid,
good fire.
Any healthy pyramid, we want it to spread.
Yeah.
We want the relationships that are watching this right now, every one of you that's watching this, for you to be infectious. Take the principles that you get, have a conversation with somebody in your community, sit down and talk with your spouse, call a friend, a cousin, and say, man, this is what I learned. Because somebody somewhere is doing relationship and you can help them.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that when we're talking about people coming together, these two corporations, if we're going to use Walmart and Target, you almost had me mess up the name right there.
Target.
That Walmart and Target
both
know what their visions are.
Yeah.
They both have a mission. So when they come together, they're not bringing blank contracts to the table. They're saying, okay, these are our guidelines.
Yeah.
These are our expectations.
Yeah.
This is what we can bring to the table. These are our projections. And Target's doing the same thing. And they're going to say, how can we put this together and create some actionable goals for both of us? What are we going to? So that's what you're doing in marriage. That's the contract that you sign, man. When I married her, I married Cachet. Okay.
So weird to hear you
and she married Greg.
Much.
And the thing is that the holistic picture is I should come to this relationship as a whole person. Although that doesn't happen in every situation.
It's whole.
What you bring to the table is what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
But I should come as a whole person. She's coming as a whole person. And although we don't know what the future holds, we have desires to turn this beautiful thing into something magnificent.
Yeah.
And
I think that like getting back to understanding that marriage itself is not a fixer. It is very important. When I was in getting my certification for being a life coach, one of my most favorite things, I say it all the time, in the coaching model that we used is being self-aware. And understanding that these flaws and these broken places in me, I don't come to this person like fix me.
Yeah.
Because that's really what you do when you get married, and you have things and you feel like when I get married, I will no longer have suicidal thoughts. When I get married, I'll have a companion. And so I won't be, I will be happy now or whatever it is. I won't be angry. I won't be this. I won't be that. While there's a partial truth to that, depending on the level of the variation in which you may be sad or whatever like that. What you find when you are living with somebody and you are coming together as these two corporations, you start to see the weaknesses in the other person. You start to see the weaknesses in yourself and you're like, how can this merger work?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I didn't know I was an angry person until I got married. And, people hear me say it all the time now. I talk about it all the time, but I didn't realize I was dealing with not only like just past issues and ideologies. I also didn't know until much later that I actually was dealing with a spirit of anger. And that was something that God revealed to me, and it had to be dealt with. But I came in thinking, I'll be whole when I get married. I'll have everything I want. I want it, I desire, and things will be great and I'll be happy. But the truth is, when I had those things, I still was empty. And I remember for a year or two just walking around like, what is this thing I feel that's like not quite, the marriage was good. We had a baby by then, so that had to be 2 or 3 or something. And I had everything I desired. We bought a house, we had a car, all the things that I wanted, all the things that I desired in my life and dreamed of I had. And I still had this void that I thought the marriage would fix.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have listened to any other ones before, you heard me say I eventually realized it was the Lord. And it wasn't that I shouldn't have got married, but I could have solved 2 years of questioning, what is this emptiness that I feel?
Yeah.
And then being angry, taking it back full circle because you were not fixing what I thought that you were supposed to fix, because we're supposed to be happy. We are happy, but there's still a weird void here. What is that?
Yeah, relationship exposes the need for inner healing. It exposes the need for the deeper works. Like you mentioning, anger. If any of us go down a road, what we're experiencing on the surface is 9 times out of 10
not the
issue at all. It's probably a deeper issue. Why do you now we're looking at insecurity? Now we're looking at some form of inner rage for some reason. Why, or what are these triggers that is causing this? You know what I mean? And so when we talk about relationship really kind of being a refiner and exposing those things and amplifying those things, it also gives you an opportunity for some self-reflection.
Yeah.
Gives you an opportunity for the need for therapy.
Yeah.
Because, we talk about all the time.
I was going to say, you took
it out. Therapy.
You took the words
it's,
right
it's
out.
necessary.
Yeah.
And so we have to work that out.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about relationship. That's the beautiful thing about two people coming together and
that's good. Being
selfless.
Yeah.
Because I have an opportunity to be her support system. The important part of me having self-awareness for myself and understanding that God is bigger than me is that I don't take on the responsibility of being her fixer.
Yeah.
So being a support system does not mean that you're required to fix everything. Yeah, there's moments where you give words that can fix a problem.
Yeah.
But at the end,
that
moment could have still been inspired by Holy Spirit in that moment.
Yeah.
That's why I give him glory for God. Thank you for allowing me to be having a moment of being a good husband. That's the important part about us refining these relationships. When we identify, man, like, you're here to make me better. I'm here to make you better. We talk about this all the time. I don't have a statistic to prove it, but I'd probably say 90+% of disagreements is just us looking at things with different perspective. And if we can slow down for a moment and look at it, we might be able to find a mutual solution to the problem.
You will likely be able to, when you recognize what you're actually fighting against and what is the actual purpose. Because a lot of times when we're having disagreements, we are fighting just because we want to be heard, or we want our point to be the one but it's like, are we actually trying to solve the problem though? Or are we just, having a disagreement and because we want to say what we want to say? Because then that usually reveals a deeper issue. I actually was thinking about, I don't know if I call it this or not, but it's the plight of the believer. A lot of times when we deal with human beings and you're in leadership or around people who are in leadership, you take on often this burden that's kind of good and bad, feeling like you need to help fix people. We had our 14-year-old son. He has a gift of helps. Knew that since he was a little kid. He loves separating stuff and he likes to help. But what happens is, and also he's seen us work in ministry and help and talk and conversations and all of this. And what I see that he attracts a lot is people who need help. And so then he takes on the burden of feeling like he needs to help people. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with helping people, but he takes it on in a way that's unhealthy for him. I see. And I think that can happen when you are married, especially when you get married, when you're saved. Sometimes we accidentally be trying to be Holy Spirit. We accidentally be like, I have to take on the, like I can be in the trenches with you, but I don't have to save you or tell you like you're depressed. You need to I don't have to do those things.
There's no meter that tells us when. There's no meter that says this is a moment, a moment to just listen. There's no meter that tells you this is a moment to give them a shoulder to lean on. This is a moment for you to share your opinion. You're navigating all this trying to figure out. You're playing double dutch. You're learning their tendencies. You're trying to ask questions that aren't the triggers. You're trying to figure out, okay, what's happening around them in the day that could have created this moment. Or what are our life circumstances that are creating this moment? That's why you have to be intentional in relationship, because it has to be much bigger than you're nagging. It has to be much bigger than you're not doing enough. Like it
has to be care. It has to be care on both sides.
Come on, man.
And it has to be an understanding that we want this to work. Like it seems so basic, but it's true, which is why I always foundationally say that communication is so important in a relationship. And if you learn to do it in the beginning, it just gets easier with time. I had someone ask me a weekend ago or something like that. We were talking a little bit about like a process that you and I are in. And she asked me, like, how does it feel to have to like wait on your husband to hear from God to move, to do different things? And my response to her was, I don't ever feel like I'm waiting on you to hear from God.
This is good.
Because Greg and I both, number one, we have really learned, and I will say, I don't want to say fully mastered, but I feel like we about here and we about here and like masters right here with how we talk to each other. So we are talking all the time. We also have learned and are learning the new gifts that God has given us and how they are good together. I actually prayed the other day and asked God to reveal more regarding like you and things like that, which is why God in your relationship is a cheat sheet. I just don't like when people use it as a.
This is why what is?
God in your relationship is a cheat sheet. Sure I don't clear. Like when people just be like, how does a marriage stay whole? And you be like, God, but you don't say how.
Oh, so provide context.
Yes,
what do you mean
I can't stand like God first. That's how a marriage lasts. And that's the only way. Like, no, there's more. You ain't saying it. Anyways, Greg and I have mastered to where we are right now, talking to each other and leaning into each other's gifts without intimidation of what the gift is. And so we are together navigating, like, what is God saying to you? Well, what is God saying to you? Well, what do we both feel like? Okay. Well, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? And then, okay, well, let's pray about that together. I ain't really feeling it. Okay. Well, we're going to wait because
let me interject. Let me unpack that a little bit. Because I had a learning curve for this, like recognizing that you're a visionary, and partnering that with my coming from in some spaces like a legalistic mindset that a man is supposed to have all the vision. I had to accept that she had a gift to see things. God has given her a gift to look at things and project and forecast what are good strategies for it. So if I walk around not being selfless, if I walk around with this burden on myself, carrying this weight that I got to have an understanding, I got to have vision. And granted, I have not arrived in this. There's still some things in this that I'm still like, God, help me lead. Help me do this. I still at the same token have recognized that God has given her a gift to see a lot of things. And there are strategies that we have for our family that when we talk, God will deposit something in her. And I don't have to have this Thor hammer saying, I don't like this plan. God hasn't shown it to me yet. No, man.
It actually is difficult. And it took some time to get here to understanding on both ends. Because when you're in a place where you are told, or you hear all the time, that the man is the one that's supposed to be the visionary. He's supposed to see, he's supposed to know. Not only do it put a lot of pressure on you, but it is very frustrating if I'm the one getting the dreams.
Yeah.
Because that's what we mean when we're talking about visionary. My gifting, a part of the gift that God gave me is dreams and visions. And recently it's become even open visions, which is newer. And so I would be frustrated because I was like, God, show him. Mm-hmm. Don't show me, because then it'll seem like I am. And we had to come to this place of understanding what it was. And as you said, we're still getting there, but we have leaned into, you taking the weight off. Like, that's my help. That's a piece of my help in our tall march.
Mm-hmm. You got to leave that alone.
You get what I'm saying. That's a part of the help that I am. That is Ezer.
That's how
you.
That's how you contribute to the functionality of our organization.
Exactly. Yes, and so in a way, now this is still going back to marriages and a fixer. However, when you put two things together, the ideal is God is giving the man someone who has help to the purpose or vision that he has for this family, something that he doesn't have, that he needs, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But if we're just talking about it in the context of what the Bible says, I'll give him a helper. We looked at a helper for so long as cook, clean, have the babies, and not the thing that is needed to, in some ways, create wholeness once they're fully developed for this purpose that God has.
Yeah.
And so while I'm not getting married to be fixed from depression, you may have a gifting of encouragement that is helpful to me, but in the end, it's not you.
Yeah.
It's God in you anyway. And so, I can't get married trying to think that you're going to fix my problems, because you're not God. However, there may be something that is inside of you that is an expression or a gifting from God that will point me back to him, that will help me to heal. That's how, instead of using it as if I get with you, you're going to fix my problems. It is more like, if we lean into this merger, like, why, if we believe that God put us together, how are we able to merge to become this thing that God envisions, that probably is much more than we imagine. We just I just think he's fine. We're not fully understanding when we're doing this, that God has a plan for your children's children.
Yeah.
Good. He's beyond just y'all. He's at your grandkids.
That's good.
He knows what he wants the Coleman name to be.
Ooh.
And so it's so short-sighted to just be like, I'm gonna get married to a girl that can make me happy. Like, there's so much more to it. Not that you're not supposed to be happy when you get married, but that's a temporary emotion and feeling. And a lot of times we get into it thinking the person's going to do what God is supposed to do for us. Yeah. And that part is the part that is where it is incorrect, if that makes sense.
Apologies. We don't know if we froze or not. We probably did. However, we were really talking about the importance of looking at relationship and marriage as a thing that refines us, a thing that amplifies the pieces of us, the parts of us that may need the inner work, and us two going on a journey together to make it a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Our motto is that healthy people, healthy individuals make a healthy family, leads to a healthy community, and ultimately the world itself becomes healthier.
Yeah.
So, we're bold enough to believe that if you can find any issue within a community,
the root of it is probably
somewhere in the family. You got a broken person that was missing a dad, or was abused by mom, or mom was overworked because there was no dad around, or it was a crime-ridden community, poverty-stricken, or it was an affluent community but children were neglected. So we're not going to put everything on poor people. There's some jacked up stuff happening in communities that are rich as well.
Yep.
But it's really about healthy individuals. It starts with understanding purpose. And that purpose comes from knowing our creator. Yeah. And we got to have a relationship with God. You got to be able to go back and say, God, why'd you make me?
Yeah.
Who am I? Why am I quirky? Why am I this? Why am I that? Why have you given me these particular passions? And then you got on a road where you're finding that you're connecting with people.
Yeah.
You find a beautiful woman, beautiful man. And you say, you know what? We want to merge our two corporations. I want to bring the corporation of Greg. She wants to bring the corporation of CashApp, and we want to create this empire that's going to make something magical. You know what I mean?
Walgett.
Huh?
Walgett.
No, here you go with that again. I knew she was going to get one more in before we ended this thing.
Look, though, I was just thinking, it is really thinking about what is the bigger picture. This is the thing about, like, before you chase the ring, before is what do I feel like I want to get married for? What's the actual bigger picture of it? Yeah. What's the purpose of it? I think like that's really what the start of it is. And a lot of us don't ask that first. A lot of us are just like, I want a companion. I want this or that other. If you are in the celibate road, which if you are, praise God, you know, I want somebody I can, you know, I want kids. Cause I know people who only wanted to be married to have children, but not and all of these things are not the full picture of what God was thinking when he was thinking marriage. And when God was thinking purpose, he didn't go money. Purpose does not equal money. However, money follows purpose.
What did Canton say?
He said, I don't follow money. Money follows me.
I don't chase money. Money chase me. I just leave them a memo, tell them where I'm going.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I think that we confuse that. Yeah. So when we think about a merger, we think financial. And while that's a benefit, that's not the bigger picture. Yeah. The bigger picture is how great of products will Target and Walmart be if they put both their strengths together. Yeah. You get what I mean? Yep. It'll become this massive thing that is great and everybody loves it because the Walmart people now is coming over to the Target side and the Target people now is coming over to the Walmart side to make this big old beautiful thing. And
we're going to make sure we point out it's important that you make that these two entities, these two people, that our vision aligns.
Yeah.
Because just because we have a great thing over here and a great thing over here doesn't mean it always fits together. Yeah. You know, we can see that just from TV. Yeah. We look at two people and we're like, oh, they're so cute together. You know what I mean? High school stuff, perfect couple. No, but you don't know what's happening. I thought. Yeah.
I actually thought Greg was in a perfect relationship. It wasn't with me. It was somebody else. And I thought, oh, their relationship is so great. They're going to get married. It's going to be amazing.
I thought the same thing.
He thought the same thing. Yeah. And then when we ended up talking, he called me from college just to check in and say, hey, how's everything going? Blah, blah, blah. I really found that under the hood, it was actually ugly under there. I was like, oh, I was totally surprised. I didn't even expect you to talk to me like that.
Yeah, we all need it in the work.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know? And you happen to be a person that I can.
It was like perfect timing because, again, insider, when you have God, he puts things together for you. Yeah, and it works out. Yeah. for his plan and the best that could possibly be.
I think this is good.
I think this is good too.
Part 4 concluding.
Before you chase the ring, part 4.
Come on, man, it's beautiful times.
If you missed the last ones. Go back and check them out.
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
Also, check out our website. Connect with us. If you have questions, if you want coaching, because we coach. We coach individuals. We coach couples. We coach. We will do speaking engagements and workshops.
Wherever you want relationships to be empowered. I'm passionate about empowering our fellas. She's passionate about empowering our ladies. And if you want to bring the whole gambit together, we are even more passionate about fortifying and building the unit.
Absolutely.
So Restoring the Breach is out there. We are excited about building you guys and pouring into you. So,
and we are restoring the breaches. Is that Courtney?
Oh man,
tall mark.
You just made it worse. I didn't know you could do worse than the tall mark. Hey man, love y'all, man. Take care. God bless.
God bless.
Hey, before you go, make sure you subscribe and like this video.